Halloween night had arrived, and my friends and I were in search of the ultimate thrill. We had heard rumors of an abandoned carnival that had been left to rot in the woods on the outskirts of town. It was said to be cursed, a place where mysterious disappearances had occurred over the years. With flashlights in hand and a sense of adventure in our hearts, we ventured into the dark woods, guided by the distant glow of flickering carnival lights. The air was filled with the eerie sounds of creaking rides and distant laughter, but there was no one in sight. It was as if the carnival had come to life just for us. The entrance was a dilapidated ticket booth covered in moss and ivy. We hesitated but decided to push through the rotting turnstile and enter the carnival grounds. The moment we stepped inside, a sense of dread settled over us like a heavy shroud. The rides were frozen in time, their metal skeletons rusted and vines crawling up their tracks. Stalls that once sold cotton candy and popcorn lay abandoned, their signs faded and cracked. It was a ghostly, forgotten world. As we ventured deeper into the carnival, we began to hear whispers in the wind. Unintelligible voices seemed to beckon us further, luring us towards a colossal, decrepit Ferris wheel that loomed in the distance. Its cars swayed gently in the breeze, and the wheel itself creaked and groaned, as if alive. Against our better judgment, we decided to ride the Ferris wheel, drawn to it like moths to a flame. We climbed into one of the rusty cars, the seats worn and tattered, and as we ascended into the night sky, an overwhelming sense of unease settled over us. At the very top of the wheel, the wind stilled, and an eerie silence descended. The whispers grew louder, and the air grew colder. Suddenly, the wheel jerked to a halt, leaving us suspended high above the abandoned carnival. Panic set in as we struggled to free ourselves, but it was no use. We were trapped, helpless, and at the mercy of whatever malevolent force had taken hold of the carnival. And then we saw them, shadowy figures emerging from the darkness, their faces hidden by tattered masks. They climbed onto the Ferris wheel, their movements slow and deliberate, and as they drew closer, we could see that their masks were adorned with grotesque and twisted expressions. They reached out towards us, and with a sense of impending doom, we realized that they were not living beings, but the spirits of those who had vanished at the cursed carnival. The figures surrounded us, their silent, ghostly presence suffocating. They reached out with skeletal hands, their grip icy and unrelenting. I felt a sharp pain as they touched me, their fingers like daggers of ice piercing my skin. I could hear my friends screaming, their voices echoing in the night, but there was no escape. In that moment of despair, I remembered a story I had heard. A tale of a cursed carnival and a vengeful spirit that haunted it. The only way to break the curse, it was said, was to confront the spirit and reveal the truth behind its torment, summoning every ounce of courage. I turned to face the figure that had reached out to me. I tore off its mask, revealing a face twisted in agony and despair. And then, the figure spoke, a voice filled with sorrow and longing. I was taken from this world, and my soul was trapped here. It whispered, "Find my remains buried beneath the carnival and set me free." With those words, the spirits released their icy grip, and the Ferris wheel began to move again, slowly descending to the ground. We climbed out of the car and watched as the figures faded into the darkness, their whispers growing fainter and fainter. Determined to break the curse, we searched the carnival grounds until we discovered a hidden grave beneath a rotting wooden stage. With trembling hands, we unearthed the skeletal remains of the spirit and gave it a proper burial. As we placed the final shovelful of dirt over the grave, a sense of peace settled over the carnival, and the malevolent presence that had haunted it for so long lifted. The abandoned rides began to crumble, and the lights flickered one last time before fading into darkness. We left the cursed carnival that Halloween night, our hearts heavy with the weight of the supernatural horrors we had witnessed. The memory of the haunted figures and their desperate plea for release would stay with us forever. A reminder that sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that are all too real.